of the podcast, Neil Haley, and I'm with Randy Pellid, CEO of Feldcare, and Julia, marketing guru with Feldcare. Guys, thanks for stopping by. And I love this topic because I think this is an opportunity for so many therapists out there that really want to be partners and not feel like employees, which they're not. The topic is flexibility without the headaches. Why therapists love Feldcare. Why do they love Feldcare, Randy? Because every time I get to interview one on the podcast, I find out they really do.
That's amazing. Well, a therapist likes to have the flexibility and independence. They maybe want supplemental income, or maybe they're working full time in a hospital and they want to get their foot into the door on the home health setting, and they've never had that option. So we give a therapist, they're an independent contractor. They can say yes or no. There's no minimum, there's no maximum requirement. It's the freedom to choose. And people love that. They're not locked into a system. They don't have to. If they went to a home health agency, there might be a quota that they have to meet. And they've never done home health, so it's definitely overwhelming. So with Feldcare, we just give the opportunity for that individual, for that clinician that may be entry level, that may be more seasoned, to get their foot in the door, explore what we do, how we do it, how we can support them, and then they can build their caseload based on their availability. There are amazing systems and software that the therapists get trained on, they get to use, and it just really presents for them a way of being able to learn how to, if they have not been in home health, learn how to work with patients in the home. They get the cultural aspect of how do they call and schedule appointments. They get the administrative training on the documentation, and they get to feel like they could set their own time, which is really important.
Oh, absolutely. And what else have you learned why they love Feldcare, Julia?
I think one thing that's really awesome that a lot of therapists enjoy is that they can set their own location. So they can say, I want to be in this zip code. I want to be like, if it's in LA or a larger city, I want to just stick to maybe this half of the zip code or this small area. They can basically draw out their zone that they want to service. And that's incredibly helpful. I mean, if you just think about, say, a mom who has to pick their kid up at school every day at 3 o'clock, right? And they have to do drop off at 8:30 or something like that. Perhaps in the morning, they'd like to pick someone right by their school. And then in the afternoon, they can go a little farther out. And then by 3 o'clock, they need to be near the school again. So having that ability to kind of set up where you are going to be physically in the world, especially because you're going into homes, is so helpful. And it just adds to the flexibility of being able to determine your own caseload and determine your own schedule. So a lot of people really love that.
Well, that's great. I mean, the flexibility, Randy, of why people love Feldcare therapists is the flexibility that you have with that partnership.
Absolutely. It's the flexibility, it's the ability to really build your case and be your own boss. One of the things that that's really important to mention is therapists love to work with patients and see them from, see them from one point, from a prior level of functioning to, to progress and really make changes. So being able to treat a patient in the home and use the home as to keep the patient safe in the home, to keep the patient independent, to not hopefully not have them have to go to a skilled nursing facility, is something that the family is looking for, something that the patient is looking for, and for the home health therapist to contribute to that and help support that is an ideal situation for everyone.
It totally is. It's something that is a win-win for everyone. Now, Julia, when we talk about again, why therapists love Feld care, I think ultimately the fact is that they can pick and choose how many hours they want as well. Not just the location, but choose hours, make your own schedule, and be able to work when you need are able to work versus having to be forced to work at times when you're stuck in a home health. I mean, in a clinic or something of that nature.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways you can look at that too, because you can go, say someone is working in a school, and they have the summer off, but they'd still like to keep working. So being able to pick, I'm just going to work during the breaks, during the school breaks, or I have Memorial Day, off, and I can kind of do that and then plug in a couple additional appointments over the next few weeks around the school schedule. So that's like one way that some people who are using it kind of more of a supplemental income might build out their caseload. Or if you go, well, I have I'm going to a baseball game later on today, so I'm going to set my schedule just for the morning. Or I don't know, I am a mom, so I'm always thinking with school schedules and play dates. My kid has a play date, there's a birthday party, whatever it is, you can set your schedule so that it fits in just like any entrepreneur would want to do. And you are an entrepreneur, which is awesome. And that is one of the beautiful freedoms of being an entrepreneur is you can set your own schedule. And because we work with therapists who are working for themselves, we allow them that freedom, as opposed to in clinic where you would have a very regimented, this is the amount of time you've got with the patient. Next patient is right after, hopefully you can shove in a bathroom break in there. Like, you're just kind of rolling constantly. Whereas when you are working independently, you have that freedom and that ability to create kind of the ideal situation for you.
It seems like a pretty ideal situation, isn't it, Randy?
It is, and again, for that entry level home health therapist, they want to get their foot in the door. They want more experience, and they don't know how to do it. Having that, connecting with a partner to provide that support, what needs to occur, understanding compliance and policy and procedure, obviously in every healthcare setting is really important. And they might be coming in blind. So we do provide that overall training and let them take it one step at a time. So there is not that overwhelm. Also, a lot of many therapists that go into home health like to work with different diagnoses and have that exposure. So they have that ability also to, if they have a specialty, that could be great for them to be able to build a caseload that really supports or caters that particular area. So it's, like Julia said, that home health therapist, they're an entrepreneur, they're independent, and they really have the ability to create what they want to create on their caseload. And if they're going on vacation, they're going on a family trip, well, they just have to, organize that, of course, but they're just not locked into a 9 to 5 job where they have to be there. And they have that, like Julia said, they have to, at some point pick up their kids, or they have to figure out how to arrange that. The flexibility in home health, you set your schedule and you can actually really, work around all these other things that are happening in life.
Now let's talk about, can you give them enough hours? Is there a lot of works available for them right now to see families? I mean, to go in to see patients.
There's so much work. We all know that we work in the elder population predominantly. It's a very large percentage of the US. And we are in several different states. So there's a ton of work. We're in California, we're in Arizona, we're in Nevada, Hawaii, Texas, Florida, a couple of other states. So there is such a big need for therapists in the home health field. We're constantly recruiting, constantly going to associations, and they have the ability to really say yes or no, I can accept. Feld Care, just to detour a little bit, we use an app that Julia talked about a little while ago. It's called Clinic Connects, and that gives the therapist, they download it onto their phone, and that gives the therapist the ability to set their radius, set their territory, based on zip codes, based on area, and they can say yes or no and take as many or a little patients as they want. Another really cool feature, obviously everyone likes money, right? So building an income, whether it be extra income, they're working full time and they need, they're planning a really big vacation or whatever is happening in that person's life, it's definitely a way to build that income. And being an independent contractor, of course, there's a base rate, or, that everyone signs, not getting into the whole rates on the compensation, but the ability to negotiate. Somebody might want to go further distance and they can take on patients and they can just make more money if they want that way by negotiating higher rates. Again, being an entrepreneur, being an independent contractor, is really a way to not only learn about home health, but really understand how to be an entrepreneur. And additionally to that, there are requirements. There's credentials, there's business acumen, if you will. There are requirements and certain things that need to occur in order for like a 1099 or an independent contractor to partner with Feld Care. So they might not know what all that is, and we help coach them through that process where they might not get that support from somewhere else.
All right, Julia, best place people can go if they're interested in partnering with Feldcare.
Yeah, so they can email recruitme at feldcareconnects.com, and we'll put that in the show notes. Or they can go to feldcareconnects.com and go to the contact page and let us know that they're interested in connecting and connecting with home health agencies through the Feldcare network, and we can get them all connected up, get them credentialed, make sure that they have all that basic information that Randy shared. So that's the way to do it.
Fantastic. That was the special simulcast.